Guys, last night I told you about what was coming with the tariffs, 125% tariffs. The CCP began panicking like they just got handed a freaking draft notice or something. And I warn you that this isn't just about trade. It's about being the Cold War 2.0. It's a global economic collapse coming. It's the kind of war that doesn't need bullets to ruin your life. But now it's escalated per this afternoon because the dragon didn't stay in Beijing. It showed up in the trenches of Ukraine. Now, this might have broke, I think, last night, actually. And it more than likely, we've already got it inside of our border. They've already crawled through our southern border. And President Trump, he's the only one treating it like the global war it is, right? The moves that he's making. Now, let's start with the battlefield. Ukraine captured 2 Chinese nationals actively fighting for Russia in Donetsk region. They weren't journalists. They weren't tourists. They were armed, geared up, and in the fight. Ukrainian intelligence says they've ID'd at least 150 Chinese nationals fighting alongside Russian forces, names, passports, and unit assignments. Now, before we go any further, this is coming from Zelensky. So do we know that we can trust what he's saying, or is he trying to bring the U.S. in full-blown conflict by saying now that China and Russia is now involved? Very possible. It could all be a lie. I'm going to show a clip here of them talking about this. So check it out.
Strategic Studies at Curtin University. It's good to see you again. So this is escalating now, isn't it? From 2 captured to an alleged 150 plus others and maybe even more. How significant is President Zelensky's claim?
Look, I think we need to treat this claim with caution. I'm not saying that the Chinese are not there. I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen them. We haven't seen them in the media before, and in fact, the Russians were quite open about having the Chinese fighting alongside them for quite some time. I mean, last month, a couple of Russian defense bloggers were actually posting videos showing the Chinese nationals geared up in Russian combat fatigue and fully armed, undertaking some maneuverings in certainly one of the places. There've been evidence or photographic evidence to suggest that China's made military equipment like armored vehicles were utilized by the Russians in the conflict. So again, this is not a groundbreaking news, and certainly it's not groundbreaking from the point of being disseminated by Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky, given the fact that thousands of foreign mercenaries or volunteers have been fighting
Yeah, we've had Marines show up in Ukraine, Army Rangers, Navy SEALs. So for them to take this, America needs to get involved. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, because how did they get there? They got through TikTok, truthfully. The same app positioning American teenagers with gender confusion and dumb dances is now recruiting, or a recruiting platform for Chinese nationals heading to the war zone. Russia is using social media to build an army. Now, you can say the same thing. The same propaganda is being done by Ukraine, Ryan Routh, and all that kind of stuff. But now they're using Chinese bodies to do it. Now, apparently these Chinese nationals were given pay and all this sort of stuff, possible citizenship, who knows, but whatever. They're there per Zelensky. Now, that could be a lie. I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think it's a lie just to try to pull U.S. in more, considering the tariff war we have going right now? And this afternoon, it went nuclear. So while we have Chinese fighters that are popping up on the battlefield, the economic war just went nuclear. Trump signed an executive order raising China's punitive tariff to, I think, 145% total, right? I think. Now, we're sitting apparently, and this is from 20 points up from yesterday. China didn't like that. So what they did is today they responded by hiking their own tariffs on U.S. imports from 84 to 125. Then they issued a whiny statement calling it economic bullying. Now, here's the kicker. Trump paused tariffs for 90 days on every other country willing to play ball. But China, they didn't get the pause because Trump isn't playing games with them. Again, this is Cold War economic warfare. This is, a lot of people are thinking this is just some tit-tat stuff. This is him trying to put them in their place to position America in a better place. China says that they're done retaliating and they're not walking away. They're planning to do a worldwide product dump. So essentially emptying warehouses, flooding the global market with dirt cheap exports, trying to undercut entire economies and collapse the global competition. This is, again, economic warfare. And the dragon is lashing its tail hard, guys. So meanwhile, China's pretending they don't know where their soldiers are because they're saying, hey, man, these are just civilians. We're looking into it. That's what they're saying. Yeah, just like they were looking into the Wuhan lab or the balloon hovering over Montana. And just so you know, that balloon thing, that they didn't release this till late, is that Pentagon China conducted spy balloon programs for years. This is from February 2023. They slipped that under the rug. Or how about we can discuss those TikTok data leaks. They know exactly what they're doing. I mean, they've bought farmland across the United States, right? Tons of farmland all around military bases. We can go into, look at this, next to 19 U.S. military bases, national security threat. And if we keep just going through these headlines, survey, if you go look at this website, it says survey of Chinese espionage in the United States since 2020. And there's lists of 224 reported instances of Chinese espionage, including U.S. military, people that are serving in the U.S. military, giving information. We have people in Congress. We have had labs pop up all over the place. So tons of stuff involved. Them flying drones around military bases. We've also have this article from March 23rd, 2023, sleeper cells likely within our energy grid. Experts concur with King's concern that Russia and China have already infiltrated America's energy grid. Now look at this one. Are sleeper cells already operating in the U.S.? Look at the date of this article, February 3rd, 2017. So they're already within, and Joe Biden obviously helped that. These guys are testing NATO. They're testing us, and they're doing it under the radar, off the books with deniable pawns. Now, that's how asymmetric warfare works, and most of the West is still asleep. So, again, this isn't about just Ukraine. This is about the global war right now. Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, BRICS, aligned, aggressive, and emboldened. And while we were focused on freaking inflation, pronouns, Taylor Swift concerts, they've been moving chess pieces across the entire planet. They've been doing this for a long time, setting up for this exact day, right? Here's the other part that nobody's talking about. Some of those pieces already here within our southern border, okay? Since October 1st, over 22,000 Chinese nationals have illegally crossed into the southern border. That's not a trickle. That's a tactical movement of military-age males. I showed so many videos of guys with cropped haircuts, black backpacks, standing at parade rests at our southern border, Chinese nationals. And get this, if you didn't know this, under China's national intelligence law, every Chinese citizen is legally obligated to assist their intel agencies anywhere in the world. Every Chinese national is essentially a spy. Do you hear me? They're legally obligated to assist their intel agency. So every Chinese national is a spy, which means all those border crossers, sleeper cells, spies, they could be prepping for a mission they haven't been activated for yet. And you may think that's paranoia. Think again, because senior officials already admitted it's very likely the CCB has been using the southern border as an insertion point. And under Biden administration, they let it happen. Hell, they were paying people to do it, right? Biden was not only ignoring it, he was encouraging it. They were handing out freaking Social Security numbers to illegals like Halloween candy. But Trump, he's not here to negotiate with the globalists. He's here to gut the economy and lock the gates. Tariffs at 145%, border policies reinstated, no quarters for nations aiding enemies. That's called leadership, man. That's war fighting, and that's why they fear him. They fear his administration. I just showed a clip of even Pete Hegseth saying he's not even worried about it, right? SecDef says he's not worried about China. You're watching this right now. This isn't just world politics. This is your paycheck, your gas tank, your pantry. Prices will spike. Exports will shift. Global instability will hit your home faster than the Chinese drone. They're trying to crush you without firing a shot. But this is where, as soft men will not survive this, right? You have to be prepared mentally, physically, financially, and tactically. Okay? Let me lay it out one more time for those who just got on the live. Chinese nationals are fighting in Ukraine on the Russian side. They're crossing by the tens of thousands through the U.S. southern border, thanks to Joe Biden. Now, I know Tom Hoffman's been focusing a lot on MS-13 and Trende Arawa. I'm hoping that soon he starts flushing out a lot of these military-age male Chinese nationals that have came on the scene. China is retaliating on the tariffs by dumping products and destabilizing the world market. And while globalists scream bullying, Trump is doing exactly what a wartime president does, making enemies flinch. This is not the Cold War 2.0, guys. This is Total War 1.0, and the fuse has already been lit. So you're either prepared or you're going to be prey. Now, I would definitely keep an eye on these things, man, because it's going to get either dude's going to come to the table and talk, Xi Jinping, that is, or things are going to get really radical very fast, because this is going to totally, and maybe this is like a point they've been trying to wait for. You've got BRICS, you've got Iran, the kind of problems we got with Iran right now, the threats and such. You got Russia or in Ukraine, where Russia should be pissed off at America under the Biden administration for sending billions upon billions of dollars to aid them, getting involved in something that's not our war to fight. So you have North Korea, who is always ready to jump on it. They're ready to get in it, in the mix. So you have these powerful nations, and China's on their last leg. And when people are on the last leg, they do desperate things, guys. Now, I would like to know, obviously, what you think about this. And man, it's crazy. It's wild times. It's escalating very fast. And because you're not seeing people with rifles marching through the street, you may think, oh man, nothing's going on. Nothing's going to happen. Things are freaking happening. Go look at your 401k. Things are happening. And whenever they flush this global market, you're going to see it. They're going to flood it with cheap products, and you're going to see it happen. Okay. Now, last night, I also mentioned I'm getting back into training. We're going to do a whole slew of courses. We're going to start off with a blade course in May, teaching some knife fighting combatives. We'll do a whole slew of things, and I think it'll be great benefit for most people. Last night, I told you I dropped the Hard to Kill program. If you haven't, make sure you go pick it up and go ahead and download it. Digital download. You can run it on your phone. You can print it out like this and train for what's coming, because being fit isn't enough when the enemy is armed, embedded, and aiming to destroy your country from within, right? And when I say because being fit isn't enough, is because some people just don't take fitness serious. I do. And this program is a gym program, gym warfare. Okay. So you need to be involved in a gym. I will come out with a home program, a bands program, because we just released our band system. Now you can do some of this stuff at home if you have a good gym setup. But the big thing about this is also includes diet. We have, 7-day meal plan. We have fast food options and gas station survival foods. Like you go there and get healthy foods from the gas station. That way you can build that warrior physique and be hard to kill, man. So go pick that up. It's digital download. So as soon as you download, you can get started in the program tomorrow. Now, I want you to comment below. Do you think the Chinese sleeper cells are already in the U.S., or is it just coincidence? And I'll be trying to read every one of your guys' comments tonight, man. Make sure you stay frosty, you stay strapped, you stay dangerous. And I'll see you in the next one. Black Scout out.